I'm locked out of one of my websites. I was doing all these like stuff with the card decks. So let's go back to the Sam Jack collection. It's been a long time. There was a point where I was kind of anxious because there was like 3 Samuel Jackson films, and it was getting hard to see anything or buy anything. So the one I have not seen is Protege, but the other 2, both by Lionsgate, both with these kind of overkill steelbooks, like clear-sleeved steelbooks from Best Buy. You have The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is a pretty funny title. And then you have Spiral, which I bought very, not so expensively, as one might expect. Those were both out on the same type of, I don't know if it was a week from each other or at the same time. And I had a choice. And I was like, it was actually a difficult choice, but I really, really wanted to see this, but I did get this because it seemed that other people would be happier with the results. I think the first 3 Saw films are awesome. And then past that, I don't really think much of the series. I think the first 3 they fit together really well. I like them a lot. I was really surprised when the director changed. James Wan still produced it, but after 3, a lot of people left, so other things happened, and that's what I'm going to talk about in a bit with this. So a long time ago, I bought the steelbook of the Hitman's Bodyguard. I think the movie is pretty awesome. They're a lot of fun together. There's more of that here, but slightly more strained in extremeness. One of the coolest things about Salma Hayek's character is she's not there very long, so her impact of just being completely obscene is just funny. But here, it's so much that you're like, it's a little bit much. The whole thing is a little bit much. But one weird complaint I heard was, I like Morgan Freeman's character a lot. There's a good reveal of him actually being, Ryan Reynolds' character's father. But then the secondary reveal, that was what people checked out on, that he was the bad guy who's the bodyguard of the person they're all after. I wasn't bothered by that at all. Actually, Morgan Freeman does that a lot. He'll play like a secret bad guy, so that was fine. I'm more happy that this guy's in this movie a lot, which isn't the case with a lot of films. Even in Spiral, he's not in it tons, but he is in it. He is one of the main characters. So I had fun. It's kind of the same way with Chris Stuckman when he saw this. I think he was just happy to be at a theater and seeing a movie, and just having a fun time with. It's just a movie. There's not much more than that, and I would say it's just a sequel to a movie. Is this whole thing warranted for this? Probably not. But I try to celebrate every time he's in a film, so that's what happened there. I actually liked this a lot. Seemed to be a lot more than other people. I was really looking forward to the fact that Chris Rock. I will always lower my expectations if an actor's gonna jump over their own pigeonholes, like Southland Tales. So if you don't like Southland Tales, you were probably built to not like Southland Tales. Most of the time, like the whole movie is an attempt to take all of these actors, a lot of them comedic actors or action actors, and give them a different role, something completely different. And that's what you got with this. And it's a very cliche, tropey kind of detective cop thing, but I think that's on purpose. Once you get to what's really going on, which I admit I was ahead of it. I think almost everybody was ahead of it. Let me deconstruct the more important things, the problems. I've been devil's advocate for a lot of people's problems with things lately. And one of them was that, but it's not Saw, like it's not smart, or they had no way of getting out. Yeah, he meant to kill them. Yeah, I think he's just torturing people. The one who's doing it, let's say. I won't give that away, though. I think almost everybody knows by now what's going on. Believe it or not, I actually thought maybe in the beginning, before I saw the movie at all, I was like, oh, maybe it's Samuel Jackson doing it and he's inheriting this kind of thing. But no, that was not the case. One of my favorite scenes in the film is him defending his son and being very angry and starting in on some violence on his fellow officers when they leave him to get hurt. You can see he does care about him. But Chris Rock is playing this character who's he's kind of doing things his own way, which we're used to that, but he's still got a moral code. He does care about the law, and he will turn in his fellow officers, which pretty much puts a target on his back. And that's what interests this other person who sees a lot of corruption in the police department and wants to team up with somebody who's willing to he's willing to do a lot more. So if you're looking for a pure Saw film, this is not going to be it, and that's why it's called Spiral. It's not part of it. It's a guy who's influenced by Saw and does some other things completely. So if you're willing for that, to see the torture porn type of stuff, you're definitely going to see that. The End Trap with... the End Trap. It's pretty awesome. Usually I'm not a big fan of seeing Samuel Jackson get hurt, though I think he's really good at it. He's incredibly good at being hurt. Take Revenge of the Sith. Of course he had to die. He's not in the future. He's not in the, these are prequels, and he's not in the other things, so he's got to die. So that was coming. But it's just that whole movie is not really that good. It was a nice kind of callback where this is him turning bad, whereas in Return of the Jedi he turns good again. He's like trying to make a decision which side to take. That was painful for me because Mace was such an awesome character. That's why you usually just don't kill your awesome characters. They didn't have a choice there. In this, it's set to kill him. He is the final piece. And the only way that this guy will know if this dude is on his side, because this guy is very corrupt. Samuel Jackson's not playing a good guy. And, So, believe it or not, I was actually fine with it. I mean, it seemed that's the way that the film was set. But there's been other things. Hateful Eight, which I loved. I love Hateful Eight. It's very hard for me to watch him get shot when he gets shot. But it's a good setup for blowing off Channing Tatum's head later on. But it sucks to just have him. Yeah, he just has to be like freaking emasculated and, you know, put into bed, bleeding to death, because he's such a force in that film. Like, he's just taking him out one by one at this point until he's taken down a peg. Jackie Brown, that's how it should be. Pulp Fiction, no. If he had died, that would have been the worst thing ever. The biggest mistake ever. He followed the path of the righteous man. And that was the point. John Travolta did not, and he paid for it. And every time he goes to the bathroom, something bad happens. Okay, I think I'm done. Happy I didn't talk. I was going to talk about 4 films, so, you know.